Good morning, beautiful soul. Before you begin this day, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and let yourself become still. Forget yesterday. Forget what went wrong. Forget the disappointments, delays, and moments that made you question whether life could ever work in your favor. Today is a new beginning. And today you are making a different decision. You are deciding to expect good things. What if something beautiful is already moving toward you? What if the opportunity you have been waiting for is closer than you think? What if your life can change through a person, an idea, a conversation, an unexpected opportunity, or a moment you could never have planned? You do not need to know how. You simply need to become open. Close your eyes and imagine yourself at the end of this day smiling with gratitude because something wonderful happened. Feel that gratitude now. Feel the relief. Feel the excitement. Feel the quiet certainty that life can surprise you. Say within yourself, I expect good things. I am open to beautiful possibilities. I welcome unexpected blessings. I am becoming the luckiest version of myself. Do not wait for evidence before you allow yourself to feel fortunate. Begin with the feeling. Begin with the expectation. Begin within. Because when you stop expecting disappointment, your attention changes. You begin noticing opportunities. You become more receptive. You become more confident. You become willing to take the step that your old identity was too afraid to take. Today, you are not going to chase luck. You are going to become receptive to it. You are going to walk through this day with an open heart and a mind that expects possibility. So take another deep breath. Let go of the old story and allow yourself to believe that something wonderful can happen for you today. This is your morning. This is your new expectation. And this is the beginning of becoming the luckiest version of yourself. Every morning, before you see the evidence of what is happening around you, you have an opportunity to decide what you will expect. Most people allow yesterday to write the emotional script for today. If yesterday was difficult, they wake up expecting another difficult day. If something failed before, they assume it will fail again. If they experience disappointment, they begin preparing themselves for more disappointment. But you do not have to continue living from the assumptions of your past. You can wake up and consciously choose a new expectation. Asterisks, something good is possible for me today. Asterisk. You may not know what form it will take, and you may not know when it will appear, but you can make yourself receptive to positive possibilities before any evidence arrives. Expectation is powerful because it influences what you notice. When you expect problems, your attention searches for problems. A small inconvenience becomes confirmation that your day is going badly. But when you expect good things, you become more attentive to possibilities. You may notice an opportunity you would normally ignore. You may recognize an encouraging conversation. You may become willing to explore an idea that could lead somewhere meaningful. The world may contain many possibilities, but your state of mind influences which ones you recognize. So begin your morning intentionally. Before reaching for your phone, take a deep breath and say, asterisk, today can surprise me in wonderful ways. Let yourself feel the possibility behind those words. Imagine receiving unexpected good news. Imagine meeting someone who opens a new door. Imagine discovering an idea that changes your direction. Imagine finishing your day feeling grateful because something beautiful happened that you could not have planned. You do not need to decide exactly what the miracle will be. That is important. If you become obsessed with one specific outcome, you may fail to recognize something wonderful simply because it arrives differently than expected. Hold the feeling of good without trying to control every detail. Say, Asterisk, I know what I desire, but I remain open to the beautiful ways it can come to me. This is not about ignoring practical reality. You can acknowledge challenges while refusing to make them your permanent expectation. If something goes wrong today, you can say, asterisk, this is only one moment. I still expect good things. You do not have to turn one disappointment into an entire story about your life. Perhaps your day begins with an inconvenience. Instead of immediately saying, this is going to be a terrible day, pause, breathe, choose again. Tell yourself, asterisk, I do not know how the rest of this day will unfold, asterisk. That simple statement creates space for possibility. Your goal is not to force yourself to feel positive every second. Your goal is to practice returning to an expectation that supports you. The more often you return to it, the more natural it can become. Imagine waking up every morning with the identity of someone who expects good things. You would not spend the first hour looking for reasons to worry. You would become curious about what opportunities might appear. You would carry yourself with more openness. You would be more willing to act when inspiration comes. And this can change your experience of life. When you expect good things, you become more receptive to good things. When you expect opportunity, you become more attentive to opportunity. When you expect abundance, you become more aware of possibilities. When you expect love, you become more open to genuine connection. So make this your morning practice. Take a breath, relax your body, quiet the mind, and say, I expect good things today. Asterisk. I welcome unexpected blessings. I am open to beautiful possibilities. Something wonderful can happen for me. Then let go of the need to know exactly how. Walk into your day with an open heart. You do not need to chase every possibility. You do not need to force every outcome. Simply remain receptive. Because the moment you stop assuming that disappointment is inevitable, you create space for possibility. And perhaps the most powerful change is not what happens outside you first. It is the moment you wake up and realize, I am no longer expecting life to go wrong. I am expecting something beautiful to find me. There is a story you have been telling yourself about your life, perhaps without even realizing it. Maybe you have said, I am always unlucky. Good things happen to other people. I always miss my opportunities. Or, whenever something good happens, something bad follows. When these thoughts are repeated often enough, they can begin to feel like facts rather than stories. But a story repeated many times is still a story. You are not required to continue believing an identity that was built from old experiences. If you want to become the luckiest version of yourself, begin by changing the story you tell yourself about what is possible for you. Think about how differently you behave when you believe you are unlucky. You may hesitate before trying something new because you already expect failure. You may dismiss opportunities because you assume they will not work out. You may interpret a delay as proof that life is against you. Even when something positive appears, you may become suspicious and think something will probably go wrong. Without realizing it, the belief of being unlucky can influence your attention, emotions, decisions, and actions. The problem is not simply the word unlucky. The deeper issue is the identity attached to it. So today, release that identity. You do not need to say that every circumstance has always been perfect. You do not need to deny difficult experiences. Instead, stop turning individual experiences into permanent conclusions about yourself. A missed opportunity does not mean you are a person who always misses opportunities. A rejection does not mean you are destined to be rejected. A financial setback does not mean you are destined to struggle forever. A difficult season is not the same thing as a permanent identity. Tell yourself, that was an experience, not my identity. My past does not have to repeat itself. I am open to better possibilities. Asterisk. Good things are allowed to happen for me. I am becoming someone who recognizes opportunities. Let these statements become part of your inner conversation. Imagine waking up tomorrow and no longer expecting life to disappoint you. Imagine entering a room believing that you belong there. Imagine seeing an opportunity and thinking, why not me? Instead of, it probably will not work. Imagine receiving good news and allowing yourself to celebrate without immediately worrying about what could go wrong. This is the beginning of a new identity. You are not trying to convince yourself that you will never experience difficulty. You are deciding that difficulty will no longer determine your entire expectation. There is a powerful difference between saying, asterisk, nothing ever works for me, and saying, asterisk, this did not work out, but something else may. The first closes the door. The second leaves it open. Your mind needs room for possibility. When you begin changing your story, you also begin changing the questions you ask yourself. Instead of asking, why am I always unlucky? Ask, what possibility can I notice today? Instead of asking, why does this always happen? Ask, asterisk, what can I learn and what can I choose next? Your attention begins moving towards solutions. And when your attention changes, your behavior can change. You become more willing to take action. You become more observant. You become more confident. You become more receptive. You start noticing that luck can sometimes appear through preparation, awareness, courage, timing, and the willingness to say yes when an opportunity arrives. Perhaps something wonderful is already available to you, but the old story has taught you not to recognize it. So change the story. Do not say, asterisk, I am unlucky. Say, I am becoming increasingly fortunate. I notice opportunities. I recognize good possibilities. I am open to unexpected blessings. Asterisk. My life can surprise me in beautiful ways. Repeat these ideas until they become familiar. And when an old thought returns, do not panic. Simply recognize it as an old pattern and choose again. You are allowed to tell a new story about yourself, a story where you are capable, a story where you are worthy, a story where you are receptive, a story where opportunities can find you, a story where good things are possible. Your past may be part of your story, but it does not have to write the final chapter. So today, put down the identity of the person who expects disappointment. Pick up the identity of the person who expects possibility. Walk through your day with this thought. I am not waiting for luck to choose me. I am becoming the version of myself who expects, recognizes, and receives the good that life has to offer. Most people believe they must receive something good before they are allowed to feel fortunate. They wait for the money, the opportunity, the relationship, the success, or the good news, and only then do they permit themselves to feel grateful. But what if you reversed that order? What if you allowed yourself to experience the feeling of being fortunate before the evidence appeared? This does not mean denying your current circumstances or pretending that something has already happened when it has not. It means choosing an inner state that is aligned with gratitude, possibility, and abundance, instead of waiting for circumstances to give you permission to feel good. Think about how differently you feel when you believe something wonderful is about to happen. Your body relaxes, your thoughts become lighter, you become more open. You may smile without a specific reason. You begin looking forward instead of constantly looking backward. That emotional state can influence how you approach the opportunities already around you. When you feel fortunate, you are more likely to notice what is going right rather than becoming consumed by everything that is missing. So this morning, before anything changes outside you, create a moment of gratitude within yourself. Close your eyes and imagine that you are looking back on your life from a place of fulfillment. Imagine saying, asterisk, I am so grateful that things worked out beautifully. You do not have to know exactly what happened. You do not need to create a complicated story. Simply experience the feeling of relief, gratitude, and satisfactions. Say slowly, I am fortunate. I am grateful for the possibilities in my life. I am open to unexpected blessings. Asterisk, good things are possible for me. I allow myself to feel blessed before I see the evidence. Let these words become an emotional experience rather than empty repetition. Feeling fortunate does not mean you will never experience disappointment. It means disappointment does not have to become your identity. You can have a difficult morning and still remember that your life contains many possibilities. You can face an obstacle without concluding that you are unlucky. You can experience uncertainty while maintaining gratitude for what you already have and openness to what may come next. Gratitude is especially powerful because it redirects your attention. When you constantly focus on what is missing, your mind becomes trained to search for lack. But when you deliberately notice what is working, what you appreciate, and what is possible, your attention begins moving in another direction. You may notice supportive people. You may appreciate your abilities. You may recognize opportunities that you previously overlooked. You may become aware of simple blessings that were always present. Begin with what is already here. Be grateful for another morning. Be grateful for your ability to learn. Be grateful for another opportunity to choose differently. Be grateful for the possibility of growth. Be grateful for the people who genuinely care about you. Be grateful for every small step forward. Then allow that gratitude to expand toward the future. Imagine yourself receiving the thing you desire and feeling deeply thankful. Imagine the peace that would come from knowing you are moving in the right direction. Imagine yourself smiling because something that once seemed uncertain has become real. You are not forcing an outcome. You are practicing the emotional state associated with fulfillment. And when you practice that state consistently, you can begin carrying yourself differently. You may become less desperate. You may stop chasing every opportunity out of fear. You may become more selective because you trust that another possibility can appear. You may become more willing to wait when waiting is wise and more willing to act when action is needed. This is the quiet confidence of someone who feels fortunate. You do not need to constantly prove that life is working for you. You simply become open to the possibility that it can. When something good happens, receive it fully. Do not immediately minimize it. Do not say, I just got lucky. Instead, pause and say, asterisk, I receive this with gratitude. Allow yourself to become comfortable with good experiences, comfortable with compliments, comfortable with success, comfortable with love, comfortable with abundance, comfortable with unexpected blessings. You deserve to feel good without waiting for perfect circumstances. So today, practice feeling fortunate before the evidence appears. Walk through your day with gratitude, expect possibility, remain open, and whenever your mind begins saying, I will feel happy when everything changes, gently remind yourself, I can choose gratitude now. I can choose possibility now. I can feel fortunate now. Because the luckiest version of yourself is not simply the person who receives good things. It is the person who is already open enough to recognize, appreciate, and receive them when they arrive. Sometimes the blessing you have been asking for does not arrive in the form you expected. You may imagine one specific person, one specific opportunity, one specific path, or one specific moment when everything will change. But life can unfold in ways that your present mind cannot predict. This is why becoming receptive is so important. If you decide that your blessing must arrive through only one particular door, you may become so focused on that door that you fail to notice another one opening beside you. Today, practice becoming open to unexpected opportunities, unexpected connections, unexpected ideas, and unexpected ways of receiving what you desire. Think about how often opportunity enters your life quietly. It may begin as a conversation you almost decided not to have. It may appear as an idea that seems small at first. It may come through someone introducing you to another person. It may be an invitation, a change of direction, a new skill, or an unexpected moment that encourages you to take a different step. If you are constantly expecting life to look exactly the way you imagined, you may overlook these moments. But when you become receptive, you start paying attention. Tell yourself, asterisk, I am open to unexpected possibilities. I am willing to recognize opportunities in unfamiliar forms. I trust myself to notice what is meant to help me grow. Asterisk. I welcome new doors opening in my life. My blessings can arrive in ways I never expected. These words create an attitude of openness. You are not demanding that life follow one rigid plan. You are allowing yourself to participate in the unfolding of possibilities. This does not mean saying yes to everything. Receptiveness is not the same as blindly accepting every opportunity. It means staying curious rather than immediately rejecting something, simply because it does not match your original expectations. Pause, consider, listen to your intuition. Ask yourself whether this opportunity aligns with the person you are becoming. Sometimes what looks like a detour can become a new direction. Sometimes what looks like a delay gives you time to prepare. Sometimes a closed door pushes you towards something you would never have discovered otherwise. And sometimes the opportunity you have been waiting for appears disguised as something ordinary. This is why awareness matters. Imagine walking through your day, believing that something wonderful could happen at any moment. You would pay closer attention to conversations. You would be more willing to explore ideas. You might notice a resource you previously ignored. You might finally take action on something you have been postponing. Expectation makes you attentive. Receptiveness makes you available. And action allows possibility to become experience. You do not need to force miracles. You can simply remain awake to what is happening around you. Perhaps someone gives you advice today that changes the way you think. Perhaps you receive a message that leads somewhere unexpected. Perhaps you discover a new idea. Perhaps an opportunity appears that initially makes you nervous. Instead of immediately saying, that could never work for me, pause and ask asterisk, what if this is an opportunity to grow? You do not have to know the entire journey. You only need to recognize the next meaningful step. This is especially important when you have a strong desire. Desire can sometimes make you impatient. You become so focused on the outcome that you overlook the path. You want the final result immediately. But life may be presenting you with the next step instead. Did state the next step. Take the next step. Learn from the next step. Trust that you do not have to see the entire staircase before you begin climbing. When something unexpected happens, do not immediately label it as good or bad. Give yourself time to understand it. Some events reveal their value only later. A situation that initially disappoints you may redirect you towards something better suited to your growth. A change you did not plan may introduce you to people or experiences that become important in your life. Remain open. This does not mean becoming passive. It means becoming flexible. You can have a clear desire while remaining flexible about how it arrives. You can have a vision while remaining open to unexpected pathways. You can know what you want without insisting that the universe must deliver it according to your exact schedule or method. So today, walk through your life with an open mind. Look around. Listen carefully. Notice. Be curious. If a new possibility appears, do not automatically reject it because it looks unfamiliar. Pause and consider it. Ask, asterisk, could this be leading me somewhere valuable? Then trust yourself to choose wisely. The luckiest version of yourself is not someone who magically avoids every difficulty. It is someone who remains awake to opportunity even during uncertainty. Someone who recognizes doors when they open. Someone who can adapt. Someone who believes that unexpected moments can contain unexpected blessings. So make this your expectation. I do not need to know exactly how good things will arrive. I simply remain open, aware, and ready to receive them. Your next blessing may not look like what you imagined. Your next opportunity may come from an unexpected direction. Your next breakthrough may begin with something incredibly small. Stay receptive, stay attentive, stay open. Because when you stop demanding that life follow one specific path, you give yourself the freedom to recognize the many beautiful paths that may already be opening before you. Becoming the luckiest version of yourself is not about feeling positive for one morning and then returning to the same old expectations tomorrow. The real transformation happens when expecting good things becomes part of your natural identity. At first, you may need to consciously remind yourself to think differently. You may wake up and have to deliberately say, something good can happen today. You may need to stop yourself when an old thought says, nothing ever works for me. This is normal. You are replacing a familiar pattern with a new one, and new patterns become powerful through repetition. Think about how naturally certain thoughts appear in your mind. If you have spent years expecting disappointment, you do not need to work hard to imagine something going wrong. The thought arrives automatically. That is because repetition has made it familiar. Now imagine doing the opposite. Imagine repeatedly practicing the expectation that life can work beautifully in your favor. Imagine waking up every morning and choosing gratitude, confidence, openness, and possibility. Eventually, these states can become just as familiar. Bodpipens means returning. When doubt appears, return. When circumstances disappoint you, return. When something does not happen as quickly as you expected, return. When your mind says asterisk C, nothing is changing, breathe and return to your chosen expectation. Say asterisk, I still expect good things. I remain open to possibilities. This moment does not determine my entire future. I trust that something better can unfold. Persistence does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. It means refusing to let temporary circumstances decide your permanent identity. You can acknowledge what is happening while maintaining a deeper expectation that life contains more possibilities than what you can currently see. Imagine someone who expects good things naturally. They do not walk around believing that every moment will be perfect. Instead, they have a quiet confidence that even when something goes wrong, they can find a way forward. They do not interpret every setback as a sign that life is against them. They remain flexible. They look for solutions. They notice opportunities. They are willing to try again. That is the identity you are building. You are becoming someone who expects possibility, rather than limitation.